Welcome to the National Women's Fitness Academy podcast. We're here to talk about women's health, female hormones, body image, and all things health and fitness.
Welcome to another episode of the Women's Fitness Academy's podcast. I'm your host, Siggy, one of the WFA's educators and a women's online coach. I have Caitlin Sims with me today. Thank you so much for joining me, girl. And we are going to be chatting all business stuff today. Now, Caitlin has this beautiful journey that she's been through from, stepping into the coaching world to where she is right now as a successful businesswoman. She's a owner of a Balance Performance Center and also a Balance Pilates Center. The center is a female-only boutique studio that is based in Cairns, which is dedicated to private training, nutrition, and mindset coaching. And her Balance Pilates Center is it's pretty much her newborn baby that she has just opened as a sister studio to her gym. And I'm really looking forward to today's chat because, for those who are listening, you probably want to take your notepad out and you're going to be taking some good pointers from Caitlin today regarding business. So Caitlin, thank you for joining me.
Hello, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so excited to share this with you guys.
Yay, so good. So let's start from the beginning. So you've been a coach. When did you start coaching?
So I jumped into the fitness industry back in 2018. So in the scheme of things, not a very long time. So 2018, I jumped in. I started doing some group fitness things on the side of my everyday. I used to work in an office. So I started working a few afternoons a week, doing group fitness. And then from there, I kind of branched out and started doing my personal training, obviously, once I had finished my certification. So a mixture of group fitness and personal training is what got me started in the industry. And then I officially jumped fully in as a full-time coach, probably early 2019. So it didn't take long for me to kind of jump in, establish a clientele base, and then leave that full-time security blanket, you would say, and just jump into the fitness industry.
I love that. That's so cool. And so many of us can probably relate to that. I know I can because I had like a full-time job before I started coaching. And once I went into the fitness industry, it's just like, okay, bye full-time job, like bye.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's literally like a safety net. And so many coaches obviously will feel the exact same. When you do leave that and you make the leap, it is quite scary, but it's just so rewarding once you can fully, obviously, financially support yourself on a coaching role. It's just, it's an awesome feeling to be able to do what you like every single day.
Yeah, I love that. Now, I've been, I wouldn't say like following, like I've been seeing your journey throughout, and I know you started off training in your garage, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so what I did actually, obviously, like I said, back in 2018, I was doing group fitness and that kind of stuff. And then I started off PTing at a small gym. And then from there, I moved to a larger gym. And then what happened is I was very busy there, quite well established. I was doing what you would say the grinding as early PT days. I was doing sometimes up to 10 sessions a day. I would start at 5 a.m. in the morning, not got home till about 9 o'clock at night. It was full on and I was jam-packed with clients, and then COVID hit. So that's where I made the transition. I kind of had to think on my feet because I didn't have anything to fall back on when COVID started. So I was a full-time PT at a gym and no income coming in anywhere else. So realistically, if the gym was to close, my business was to close. So that's why I jumped in straight away. I borrowed some gym equipment of one of my clients who had a home gym. I said to her, can I please borrow all of your gym stuff, put it in my garage, and then I'll PT you and the rest of our clientele base from my garage until this whole thing blows over. So obviously in saying that, it didn't really blow over. It's still very much apparent right now. But that's where Balance Performance Center was born. So I was coaching the girls in my garage, and a few of them were saying, oh, we love this so much. It's so intimate. It's so quiet. When the gyms open up again, I don't really want to go back. And I was I was very shocked, very confused, because obviously the gyms, they've got world-class equipment, they've got everything that you need to get results. But the girls were super happy to just be using the equipment that I had at home. They just loved it so much more. So that's where the baby, or the idea of Balance Performance Center, came to life. I thought, why not invest in this right now, find a space and open up my own private studio and do one-on-one coaching from a space and make it a little bit nicer than my garage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where Balance Performance Center was born. And yeah, that's how it all started, I guess. So COVID was when it started. And yeah, now it's, I think in June, Balance Performance Center will be 2 years old. So it's gone very quick.
So quick. And it's amazing how you've transitioned from your garage to now having your own studio. Well, two studios now. You're doing the Pilates side of things. Where did the name come from, Balance Performance?
So at the very start, my business was called Balance by CJS. So my name is Caitlin Jess Sims. So my brand was Balance by Caitlin Jess Sims. And obviously, opening up the studio, I wanted to take away from myself, because I had future sight that I would have other coaches working alongside me. And I didn't want it to be all about me, per se. So what I did is I took my branding out of it, kept balance. And obviously, the space being what it is, it's a performance center. So Balance Performance Center was born. I took my branding out of it. And then I actually now have a team of coaches working at the studio alongside me. So it's more of a team vibe at Balance Performance Center.
I love that. That's so cool. And how many staff do you have?
So including myself, we have 6 coaches working at Balance Performance Center now. So it is a one-on-one studio. So each coach will work with their client at a particular time. Apart from that, there's no one else training in the space. So that's why it's so quiet. It's so intimate. You don't have, obviously, the hustle and bustle of your regular gyms. So yeah, it's just awesome to have that intimacy with your clients and be able to communicate. Like I said, we touch on more than just training and nutrition. It is mindset as well. So to have a private space for that, it's really, really special.
It makes such a big difference. Like once in Melbourne, once the lockdowns finished, I was on the search for a new gym as well, because I was at a one of those franchise gyms, and I literally wanted a studio where I could just, do my own training, not have to fight over equipment, but still feel as if I was part
Definitely.
of a place. And yeah, I found it. I'm so, so grateful for it. But it makes such a big difference in being in a space where you feel safe and supported.
Definitely. It is. It's big community vibes. The best way for us to bring the community together, we actually hold a class every Saturday morning. So like I said, it is a one-on-one studio. So the girls don't really see each other that much. But then what we do, we thought, oh, how can we bring everyone together? Because we're still building this community. Obviously online, the presence was there, but the girls were all following each other's stories and things like that. But we couldn't really find another way to bring them together. So that's why we started doing the classes on a Saturday. So every Saturday morning, us coaches, we run a free HIIT class. So it's 7 a.m. and then every single client from each different coach will come and participate in that. So it's a way for us to come all together each week.
I love that. That's so good. And then the clients get to know one another as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Like a vibe in a community is so important.
Definitely. On Saturdays, the music, the playlist, it's really good energy in the gym, and all the girls get into it. Obviously, high intensity training. We more so focus on the weights. We call it BPC HIIT, but to be fair, we just do a big circuit
Yeah.
and pump the music. A lot of the girls choose to dance in between sets and things like that. So some of them go a lot harder than others, but as long as they're there, we can't complain.
So good. I love that. Through your transition, like building the studio and like moving away a little bit from face to face to, owning the two centers, how did you find that transition?
Well, realistically, the transition of opening the studio alone was pretty hectic, because obviously finding a lease at the start and then sourcing all the equipment. When I was very lucky to place the order early days of COVID, because obviously the delay on equipment became a lot the further into COVID we got, because everyone was wanting to go home studios and things like that. So luckily I was able to get all that kind of stuff. But then when the equipment came, it was like a truck full of equipment, and I had no idea how to set any of it up. So obviously outsourcing people to help set the whole gym up, it was it was a big transition. Obviously me being fully booked in the shed at the time, I had to do full days at the shed and then go to the studio at night time and set up and everything like that. And then we set up our launch date, and then from there it was as simple as saying to the girls that I was working with, okay, you're no longer in the shed, we're going to start at Balance Performance Center next week. And then from there it kind of just transitioned over, and we made the jump to the studio.
So good. People don't really realize the work behind the scenes when it comes to
I know.
gym.
Definitely a lot of behind the scenes work, that's for sure. But you learn so much along the way, which is great.
What are some lessons that you learned?
Well, probably the biggest thing is that you have to outsource a lot when you don't have the say the experience or the tools yourself. Like in regards to setting up the equipment, at the start I wasn't really too shabby with my marketing and things like that, so I outsourced that. I had a brand manager come in and help me on the back end set up a website and things like that, jump into email marketing, just teaching me all of the basics at the start, because realistically you don't get taught that in your say your health and fitness courses. It's all about like training and things like that. There's nothing business related in that. So outsourcing, learning as you go, like anyone that owns a small business will be able to tell you, you have to be the face of the business and you have to do everything yourself, unless you have loads and loads of money, obviously. But outsourcing within reason is probably the best thing that I had to do at the start. And then now I've learned so much from everyone that's helped me that I'm able to take on more things, step away from face-to-face coaching a little bit and be more hands-on doing all that kind of stuff myself.
I love that. Outsourcing is probably one of the best ways for coaches for what's the word I'm looking for? Like having another hand to help you to just
exactly. Yeah. Especially because social media is such a large part of it these days as well. Like in regards to that, if you don't have a social media presence at this point of time as a coach, like unless you're like, don't get me wrong, you could be a fully booked coach in a gym. And if you're happy with staying in the gym, doing 10 sessions a day, grinding it out, you don't really need an online presence. But if you want to make a difference and you want to do something different and obviously edge away from just doing that full time, then doing something in regards to social media is probably your best point to start on. Social media presence is, it's the way to change for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know what, like these days, everyone is on social media.
Literally way too much. I'm guilty of it.
Speaking of social media, before we mention how you're managing both of your centers as well, how are you going around that into, like owning a business, doing the coaching, but now you're also managing your social media? Like, how are you finding that?
Yeah, so at the moment, I'm in prep for a competition. So I have a lot of cardio time, you could say. So each morning I have a non-negotiable that I wake up in the morning, do my social media, and I am to try and post on each page daily. Obviously for my page, I'm not as hyper-focused, but for both business pages, having that presence and posting more frequently, getting the word out there, it's just so much easier to build when you're staying on top of your socials. So the biggest thing that I've been trying to do is post daily on those websites and obviously share a little bit of behind the scenes, say even if it's just something like filming a class or showing the interest in the gym, showing one of the girls hitting a big lift, anything like that. We try to share as much as possible so people can kind of get a taste test of what we do before they actually come in and buy services from us.
Yeah, I love that. When it comes down to Instagram, I know a lot of our listeners are on social media and most of them are coaches as well. In terms of the consistency around that, what are some useful tools that have helped you that could help our listeners around, the social media side of things?
So social media, I think the biggest thing is you have to have your own personality. Mm-hmm. So many people try to just recreate the wheel and just go in and post all these different things. And they may be related to your brand and they may be very informative, but I've noticed the biggest success in growth is when you actually just step back, remove the layer on top and just be yourself. So bring your authentic self when you're posting, even if you're on your stories. People might think, oh, that's silly, you're going on your stories all the time, but don't worry about other people if they're not your target market.
Yeah, exactly.
Other people, like realistically, if you're in the wrong game, if you're going to be embarrassed to post what you're currently doing. So people come to you, they look to you for advice. So the biggest thing is, if you're a coach and you're not sharing what you're currently doing to succeeding, that's your marketing. So if you're hiding that, then people won't know how you're getting your results, or people won't trust you is the biggest thing. Trust in social media is everything. So thinking like in regards to the business pages, I'm trying to promote what we do, trying to show them that we run good classes, trying to show them that our community is growing, and there's obviously a reason behind that. So if people can trust that you have a good business, they're going to be more willing to invest in you.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the fact that you mentioned that so many people are trying to reinvent the wheel because we're constantly looking at what other people are doing.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Comparing ourselves to others.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to fall into that trap.
Definitely. Like, I'm all for getting ideas of other people and things like that. We are all coaches. We are all supposed to be sending the same message to educate clients. But if you just do it the same as everyone else, you become boring. Yeah. So the biggest thing to do is talk about your journey, especially if you're a coach and it's your personal page. Like, this is a little bit different from my business pages, but on my personal page, I talk about my training, talk about my nutrition, talk about my goals, because obviously it's a page that's dedicated to my journey. And then and I feel like that's why people follow me. It's not for, people don't want to see how many macros are in certain products on my page. Like, just in my opinion, I feel like for my business pages, I try to put out as much good quality information on there in regards to training, nutrition for newbies and things like that. But when it comes to my personal page, I try to separate from that and actually share a little bit more of an insight behind what I do personally. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I love that. Would you ever dabble a little bit of your personal story into your business pages as well?
It's a good question. I definitely used to. So I've had a little bit of a shift. Say the first year of BPC, it was very heavily focused on me, my results, my coaching. Over the last year, previously, I've pretty much changed it from being about me to more so about a team. So in the fitness industry at the moment, there's been a huge shift. So a lot of coaches are actually doing this, where they transition from coaching by themselves to they link up with other female coaches. And then they actually coach from a team perspective. So that's what we're kind of doing at Balance Performance Center now. So it's not so much Caitlin Sims Balance Performance Center. It's Balance Performance Center is a team of coaches. We're all female. We've all got our own niche. We've all got our own strengths, and we can help anyone and everyone. So the best thing for us to do is market us as a whole and kind of remove the face behind the brand and make it more of a company. So that's the kind of shift that I've tried to be aiming for over the last year. And I feel like it has been very successful. Like, we've done some photo shoots, like team group photo shoots and things like that. So when we're launching things, we're able to market as a team rather than just one brand person instead.
Yeah, I love that. And like you said, it's no longer just about you. It's, staff as well who are there to serve your clients.
Exactly. It's beautiful to have a team. And obviously, like, I'm not at the gym right now, but I know right now there's coaches in there training clients utilizing the space. And that just makes me so happy.
I love that. That's so cool. I know this is quite tough for like some coaches when they bring on staff, because it's no longer about you. It's about everyone. So how did you transition? Like, did you have any like mindset difficulties around like hiring staff and being more open-minded about, cool, this is not about me anymore, it's a team effort?
I think the biggest thing is just putting on people that have the same values as you. Obviously, having the same education or just the way that they coach clients is really important to me. Obviously, everyone's going to have their own niche and the way that they do things. But the biggest thing is we want to still be educating everyone for health. We kind of want to shift away from what we used to do in the old day, where we used to just get people lean very quickly, put them on low calories and things like that. We're trying to shift more of a health approach at the gym. And as long as you're a coach and you're aligning with that, it's definitely something that we can have you on the team at BPC for. So that's how I've kind of selected people. It's, to be fair, I haven't really selected people. People have just kind of come in from different, well, I should say a couple of the coaches are actually previous clients of mine. So they're still coaching with me now, but then they've started coaching with me, got inspired, and then obviously finished their Cert 3 and 4, and now I've put them on at the gym. So that's how the community of coaches has actually been growing. It's just people in Cairns that have been looking to get educated and then stepping into a coaching role. And obviously Balance Performance Center is an amazing place to start. We've got an existing community, so it's really easy for new coaches to kind of slot in there and build their confidence.
I love that. That's so cool. In terms of progression of the, the business, where do you see it in the next, year or two?
Well, the biggest thing was obviously establishing Balance Performance Center as a gym. And then from there, establishing the new business, Balance Pilates Center. I just love the direction. We've kind of got two different ways to turn now. So there's so many people in Cairns, so many people, some people don't like doing weights at all. So I was trying to think, what's a new thing that we can do to kind of target a different market. So that's where the Pilates came into it. It's obviously trending massively in the fitness industry at the moment. They're popping up left, right, and center. So that was the biggest shift and the biggest goal of the end of last year. And it's come together so quickly. Like literally, I think it was about 2 months in the process from when I started and did my first ever Pilates class to setting up a new studio, because I just fell in love with it straight away. And I thought, why not branch out and do it myself? Because obviously I loved it so much. And there is a bit of a gap for the market in Cairns in regards to Pilates, because it's not heavily saturated yet. So I thought, why not jump on it straight away? So that's probably the biggest shift from the gym, is going to the Pilates. And at the moment, it's just really focusing on building both of them up, establishing a strong community, and then it leaves pathways to kind of collaborate between the two in the future.
Yeah, I do believe like Pilates and strength training, they really complement one another.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love that. How, in terms of like the community base with hiring staff, like I know most of our listeners are coaches or becoming coaches. What are some of the processes or I'd say maybe like red flags that you would look at when you were hiring your staff?
Well, the biggest thing is we just want to have team energy. So if anyone's kind of not aligning with that, it's not really going to work. We try our best. We're also busy, but we do try our best to meet up at least once a month, bounce ideas off each other, just so then we can make sure that we are kind of ironing out any of the creases in our relationships in the gym. Because obviously us as a team of coaches, we need to be really strong, because then our clients can actually sense that. And we just want to be positive all the time in the gym. So the biggest thing is, if we have issues or concerns or anything like that, we just make sure that we link up. But to be fair, we haven't had much of it. So it's really good. Everyone's in that same community vibe. Like I said, we link up on the Saturday morning, so us coaches all get to kind of coach our clients together, and then also coach each other's clients, which is really exciting. Because once you have an established clientele base and you're not taking on any more clients, then you kind of stop getting to educate newbies. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that I miss, like working with someone who's never stepped foot in the gym before. So by doing the classes on a Saturday, it gives me the opportunity to work with people that are more fresh and kind of be like a new client coach again, if that makes sense.
That. Yeah, it's so rewarding to have clients like that jump into a class, or the one-on-one coaching, and literally teach them from 0 to 10.
Exactly. Yeah. So many people, like Balance Performance Center is a female only studio. So a lot of our clients have never stepped foot into a normal gym before, because they're just terrified of doing so. Yeah. Obviously, that's the reason why I was thinking, why not create this space to kind of give someone a place to be able to feel safe and to just learn. And I look at it like a stepping stone. So the way that our packages work at Balance Performance Center is we do the training and nutrition together. And then say we might see you once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week, whatever, it depends on your goals and obviously your budget. And then from there, what we do is we design a program for you to do at your own gym as well. So giving people the experience to learn how to use the machine, learn how to go through their programs and everything like that. So then when they do go to the gym, they can be confident to know what they're doing, and they can kind of have their program on their phone. They can go in, know exactly where they need to go. And it just takes that anxiety out of going to the gym. So yeah, I do look at Balance Performance Center as a bit of a stepping stone to being able to face the big bad gyms.
Yeah, I love that. You know what? We need more of that around, because I remember, like, I'm sure with your experience as well, there was no, like, there were female centers, but nothing like what we're talking about.
Yeah, definitely nothing in Cairns. That's for sure. Balance Performance Center is the first one. I know that. I'm pretty sure back in the day there used to be a female only one, but it definitely isn't open anymore. And it just wasn't a big thing back in the day to being a female in the weights room. Like, you wouldn't be doing it, whereas now it's so common. Like, you go to the gym now and every single person, like, you look at the squat racks and it's all females. It's just it's awesome. So it just shows that our team of people looking at training, it's so much more than what it used to be, and females are really getting into the gym and owning their space a lot more these days.
Yeah, we're dominating.
We literally are.
I love that. And I love the fact that you also give them the opportunity to train independently, not just in the studio. And I think that's a really important aspect for, you know, a lot of clients. And like, from your experience and myself, you know, we didn't just start with someone holding a hand every session. You have to go and do.
You have to learn. Yeah. Definitely, you have to learn in order to grow. You're going to make those silly mistakes, changing a setup on a machine, or you might drop a barbell or something like that. It happens to the best of us. So I think learning on the go is better. I literally run into things all the time. So it's like, I feel like you probably never get better, but I won't tell people that.
Yeah, seriously, like, it happened to me this morning. I think I like misplaced the dumbbells and it fell on my toe. Like, yeah.
Literally, the amount of phones that I've cracked by putting dumbbells on them, not very good.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You learn through your experience.
Definitely.
I love that. That's so cool. I literally had a pointer that I wanted to ask you a question, and it literally just flew by. What do you want to say? Oh my God, I can't remember. But while we're on the topic of training, you also mentioned at the start of the conversation that you are prepping. How is prep going for you this time around with, you know, the 2 accomplished centers?
So to be fair, competition prep is just a whole another ball game on its own. Obviously, managing 2 businesses at the same time could call me crazy, 100%. But for me, I don't know. I feel like I just get hyper focused in prep, and I can't really go anywhere else at the moment whilst being in prep. So I thought, why not, whilst I'm opening up this business, I'll compete at the same time, almost like habit stacking, right? Yeah. So it's like, open up your business, work on your business, and then prep at the same time, because when I'm in prep, everything is my mindset is just so strong. So I can wake up every morning, I'm going to the gym, I've got time to do content because obviously I'm doing extra cardio, I've got things to talk about and things like that. So it all kind of just jams in together for me. So that's the biggest thing. I don't necessarily find it hard to prep and run the businesses at the same time. It's only because I am so good at managing my time, though. If I wasn't, I would be like, if I didn't have Google Calendar, then I don't know what I would do. It's definitely everything is scheduled, everything has the time in the day, whether it be my face-to-face clients, whether it be because I'm also teaching at Pilates as well. Obviously, I have blocks of day where I'm just doing the online side of the business, where it's like your booking system. I've got Mind Body for the Pilates studio, so I do a lot of stuff on the back end with that, following up with clients, just all the things that you think about that you would be doing as a, say, like a studio manager or something like that. I'm now adopting those roles and doing that for the Pilates center, as well as obviously coaching online clients as well. So yeah, it's very full on. My days are very busy, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
I love that you mentioned that you're like glued to Google Calendar. Like, it
Literally.
literally, yeah, I use Google Calendar for like everything.
Literally, I'm like, get your eyebrows waxed. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I skipped that appointment.
Not only that, it's also feeding time. Like sometimes I tend to have to schedule feeding time.
Definitely. You definitely need to schedule everything, especially when you've got multiple things on the go, because there's nothing worse than forgetting things. And in prep, not gonna lie, I do forget a lot of things. The closer to stage I get, the more brain farts that I have. So writing things down is the key.
Yeah, it's during prep when those calories start
The
like
calories are getting lower and my brain cells, I'm like, oh my gosh.
yeah, this is like the best time to write everything on Google.
Literally.
I mean,
Pre-plan. I even pre-plan when I'm training. It's like legs Monday and cardio Tuesday, upper body. Like it's all in there, like from Monday to Sunday. I've even got on Sunday rest.
Yeah. Oh my God, I
It's
love
needing to be scheduled.
yeah, I love the fact that you mentioned that you schedule your rest days because I'm the same. I literally do
Literally.
that.
Literally, you need to take that rest.
Definitely, because otherwise, if you're not resting, you'll probably just end up finding more work to do.
You'll burn out. And if you're like me, when you're running a business, it's like when you get home, you're always on your phone,
Yeah.
you're always following up clients. Like I've got my clients communicate with me, they on their packages, they can pretty much contact me anytime, so my messages are never stopping, so I don't really have an off button. I feel like any small business owner doesn't really have an off button though, to be fair.
Yeah.
But if you don't schedule that time where you're resting and just disconnecting from your phone, then you don't get to reset. You don't get to pause and start the week fresh. It just all kind of rolls into one. And before you know it, you're burnt out. And I've done it so many times before. And now I just say to myself, Sunday is my day. I try to disconnect. I try to go out onto the water. I get some sun, or I go out and do something that makes me really happy, so that I can start Monday fresh each week. Whether I'm in prep or not, I still try to do an outdoor activity. So nothing really changes there. As long as you're resting and you're doing something to fill your cup, as they say, then you will definitely be able to have good weeks.
I love that. Do you usually do that every Sunday or does that vary?
Sunday, definitely. Every Sunday is me day.
Yeah, I love that because for so long, I don't know about you, but Sundays used to be projected as like a day to set yourself up for the new week. Where now I find that a lot of people are literally just taking all of Sunday off. And when Monday morning
Definitely.
comes, do your to do list and start the week fresh.
I agree. I think that's how it should be. Like, and realistically, not everyone's going to be able to do that on a Sunday. So it's just whatever suits you and your schedule. Like, say you've got to do stuff on Sunday, that's totally fair. Have your day off on Monday or have it on Tuesday. Just don't be that person that thinks, oh, to be a successful coach, I need to work 24 hours of the day. I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to be up till, say, 3 o'clock in the morning doing programs. Like, you're not going to be a good coach if you're doing that, because you're going to be tired. You're not going to be able to give your clients 100% in the gym. So there's no point getting burnt out, because your clients will actually not benefit from that. So if you set your boundaries, obviously set the times of the days where you want to think, okay, end of the night, I'm off my phone, I'm not doing any replies till tomorrow, that kind of stuff. If you set all that up at the start, then your clients will understand and you both have that boundary there. Then you're not going to have any hard feelings. You can put on your packages, obviously 24/7 access to me, but that comes with a boundary to think if it's midnight, you don't have to reply to someone.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. And clients, realistically, they're going to respect that. And if they don't, unfortunately, they might not be the right clients for you.
Yeah.
So just setting that up at the start of a relationship, obviously coaching is a relationship with your client. Setting all that up at the start, you're going to have a streamless way to coach your client.
Yeah. And you know what? That comes down to being a better businesswoman as well, because again, like, you running your coaching business is something that you have to be obliged to, and if you're not setting those boundaries, then yeah, again, people are just going to step over that.
Exactly. It's something as simple as, say, your check-ins need to be done on a Saturday morning. Like, if someone's not checking in and then they check in on a Tuesday, unfortunately, I don't do my own stuff on a Tuesday. I set a little bit of time aside each, say, Saturday morning to do my check-ins. If you don't check in for that and then you ask me on a Tuesday, I'm at the Pilates center running a session. I might be at a meeting with the accountant. I'm going to be all over the place. So I might not be able to do your check-in on that day. And then you might have to wait. So little things like that. It's like, if you have those clear boundaries at the start, your clients will know that you're not just available 24/7 in the scheme of it. You do have to have some kind of structure to your business.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with that, because like, from someone who, again, like, you learn from your mistakes.
Definitely.
I remember years ago, I'll be like, yeah, I'm available whenever and ever.
Yeah, to be fair, I was the same. I'm like speaking from experience here, because realistically, at the start, it was like, I'm your best friend, message me whenever you want, and I still feel like that. But it's like, now I've got so many other responsibilities as well, so I need to be able to give each client that exact same attention. So that's why, and it's also very important that you don't take on too many clients that you can't handle. So that's the biggest thing, and the biggest downfall that I'm seeing in the coaching industry at the moment is people take on too many clients. You are not supposed to be stressed and strung out and glued to your laptop for 12 hours a day as a coach. It's not healthy. It's not maintainable. So if you do want to be, say, an online coach, you need to find a way to give your services and give yourself to the clients that you have, and then not accept any more unless you can currently manage what you're already doing. Because if you just keep taking and thinking all about the dollars, then you're going to just lose your clients, because you're not going to be able to give them that same level of service as, say, when they signed up with you on day one. And then now it's been 1 year and you've got triple the amount of clients, and that day one client is now on the back burner. So always take care of your day ones. That's the biggest thing. And if you keep your clients, guess what? You don't have to get new clients.
Yeah.
So client retention and taking care of your current clients is the key to success in personal training, coaching, Pilates, whatever you want to look at it. It's retaining members is the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I don't think that's spoken about enough, because, you know, out there's so many like business coaches who sell the idea that you have to constantly, you know, get new clients, but they don't speak about, once they're with you, like, how long do you retain them for? Is it
literally?
Is it 3 months? Is it a year?
It just depends. Hey, because for my personal packages, I've had girls with me for 3 years. You're always working on something. You're always doing something. It's not like a 12-week transformation, or that's just not how I sell myself. It's more, I'm going to be your coach. I'm going to help you throughout your life, whatever you want to do, whether we're dieting, whether we're reversing, whether we're building, whether we're just general chat once a week, like whatever it is. It's just giving them that space to be there once a week, or however many times you want to see them a week, and just be able to give that face value and turn up and be 100% for those clients. And like I said, like, I've closed my books maybe a few times, and then like I'll open them, take a couple more, and then I'll come back. But most of the time my books are closed. So realistically, the clients that I have on hand, those are the ones that I'm currently servicing, and those are the ones that speak volumes for your business, because they'll go around, they'll tell their friends, and their friends will tell their friends, and that's where you get that marketing. But it's nothing to do with social media, it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
So especially if you're in a small town like Cairns, if you can tap into that word of mouth market, then that's where you grow. And that's where it is in small businesses, small towns, is being able to spread the word of, obviously, a quality service.
Yeah, I love that. It, again, like, yes, it does come down to quality, and like, word of mouth is so freaking useful for businesses.
Definitely.
I love that. So cool. What are some, I don't like the word tips because it's so like common, but what are some ways that you could suggest for the new coaches in the industry right now to build their, I guess, their social media or their presence as a coach?
Yeah, definitely. Great question. So I think the biggest tips, and this is what I educate the coaches at my gym with as well. Obviously, a few of them are brand new coaching. I've got some more experienced girls there as well, but I've got a couple of complete newbies. Their biggest thing is creating a social media impression. Like I said before, creating a personality, sharing their journey, and being real and raw in the fact that people follow you to see the truth. Like, they want to see how you're doing things, how you're training, how you're eating, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis to be able to manage your time and your training, and saying if you're working 2 jobs and or if you got kids, like how do you fit in things into your training and how do you fit things into your life? Like people love to see other people succeeding at something that they would love to do themselves. And then what they'll do is they'll buy into that. So show someone, make them trust you that you can help them get to where they want to be. And then from there, it's so much easier to take on new clients because people already believe that you can help them. So the biggest tip for new coaches is just put yourself out there and be real on social media and get results. That's probably the biggest thing. So many people are posting all these tips and tricks and things like that, but it's like, where are your results? What are you currently doing for your current clients that's noticeable? Like, say if you're working with someone, what changes have you made? And it doesn't always have to just be body image. It doesn't have to be like their aesthetics. What about posting mindset glow ups? My biggest thing is getting people strong. So posting someone squatting with a barbell to 6 months later, say squatting over body weight. It's just like, that's an epic glow up that should be recognized, not aesthetics, but the whole point of showing people that you're more than just a coach to change what they look like. It's like you can help them in other ways. And moving on to the next thing, I would probably suggest further education. So that's the biggest thing. It's like if you're not constantly learning and you're not constantly putting yourself out there or networking with other people that know more than you, then you're not going to learn or grow. So that's the amazing thing that I love about BPC is that I've got a team of coaches and I learn off them as well. So say if I don't know something, I can go to one of the other coaches and say, what's your opinion on this? Or have you ever had a client do this? Or how can we help this person? I've never done this before. Have you ever had a result with this? Like little things like that, and having people to lean on. And obviously the social media aspect as well. You can always reach out to other people in the fitness industry, but having it right in-house, like at the gym, it's so much easier for me to do that. But I do believe that for new coaches, if you don't have that, then the best thing you can do is invest in your studies. Like say, obviously, Women's Fitness Academy. We're doing, at the moment, I'm doing the nutrition one. And then I've also got the programming one. This one's all about women specifically. So that's why I've been so excited to do it, because I've never done a course that's dedicated to just female learning. So that's probably the biggest thing. Get into your learning, invest in yourself. And then each year I kind of put on my list, okay, what can I do this year to kind of step outside of my comfort zone and grow as a coach? This year, the biggest thing is studying with and leveling up in regards to Women's Fitness Academy. And then next, I'm also doing some competing in April. So little things like that. And then each year you will just keep growing, and you might be someone with only 2 clients at the moment, but that doesn't mean that your journey or your story isn't any less important than someone, say, with 100 million followers. Like it's you still are able to share, and you still have the possibility to help people. So once people start to realizing that this coaching game, it is actually about helping people and creating a difference, then it's a lot easier to sell yourself and sell your story, because you just have to be who you are.
I love that. My God, like literally every pointer that you mentioned, I was like, yes, 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 like nodding my head over it, especially the one like learning from other coaches, but also investing in education as well. Because
Definitely.
I found there was one stage where I didn't do that, and I felt so stagnant in my own ability
Definitely.
to help people.
And it just sparks that motivation, or sparks that, like when you do a course or something like that and you read something, it's like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I want to go and look more into that. It's like little things like that. And that's what makes you a better coach, actually learning and actually thinking, okay, how can I apply this to my clients now? Especially with the stuff I'm learning through National Women's Fitness Academy. I've never done anything, like I said, specific for females. So we're learning about hormones, we're learning about mindset, training specifications. There's so much things that I've never actually delved into in regards to female training and things like that. So now I can look at it and say, okay, how can I apply this to my current coaching? Or even better yet, how can I apply this to both of the businesses as a whole?
Yeah, I freaking love that. So, so useful. Wow. My final question, what is the big plan for 2022?
2022, I would love to have a membership base at the Pilates studio growing. So my goal obviously is to match my current gym. So at the current gym, we have about 50 members on the books. So I'd love to get Balance Pilates Center to 50 members, and I'd love to have a big end of year celebration where we combine the two studios together and have a day where we can kind of mix and mingle together. So that's definitely one thing that I've got on the bucket list. For myself personally, I would love to compete in the WBFF and go pro in April. This will be my 4th show with WBFF. So that's one of my major personal goals. And obviously, you've got all your main goals that you do for yourself as well. But as a coach, by the end of the year, I probably will look at reducing a little bit less time in the gym as a face-to-face coach and just mainly focusing on building both of the businesses. Because like they say in business, the more time that you spend on the business and not in the business, your business will grow a lot more.
Yes, I freaking love that. You probably will become a pro.
I hope so.
Yeah, you will. Just keep putting it out there. It will.
Put it into the universe. I'm definitely manifesting it.
Yeah, manifest
on the Stairmaster every day. Pro card, pro card. Literally.
Love that. That's so cool. Before we finish off, where can our listeners find you, work with you, work with your staff as well?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got, like I said, a couple of business pages up and running. So you've got Balance Performance Center and Balance Pilates Center. So depending on what your style of training is, what your niche is, if you love weights, hit us up at Balance Performance Center. If you love more of a Pilates vibe, then go to the Pilates Center. If you aren't in Cairns, obviously, you can always hit us up. We can do online coaching and things like that. We do have a team of us. And then even if you just follow us, you're able to see a bit of insights. We do share informative content. We share our wins. We share our clients' results. And yeah, we'd love to have you all follow along.
I love it. Awesome. Well, girls, you heard it. You know, we've given you all the tips, and for those who are just starting off, just start putting yourself out there as a coach and, you know, continue learning. That's where you're going to start noticing the involvement in yourself, but also in your business. So if you enjoyed today's podcast, please recommend it, share it, screenshot it, tag us at the Women's Fitness Academy. You can tag myself, tag Caitlin. Caitlin, what's your Instagram handle?
Mine is at Caitlin Jess Sims.
There you go. So tag away,
pretty
girls.
Basic.
It's all basic works. Basic works.
Basic. That's it. Be yourself, girls.
Awesome. Thanks, girls. Bye.